Welcome back to the Reptiles With Podcast. Today we are hanging out at Tampa, Florida in June. We're going to talk to a couple people about their reptiles. Like always, this podcast was sponsored by Repticon Reptile Shows, Premium Crickets, and Reptiles Express. Let's get started.
Hey, it's Colton Shear with Planet Python.
Hell yeah. So what are you working with these days?
Well, right now I mainly work with ball pythons.
Okay.
I've been slowly getting into blue-tongued skinks, as we've talked about in the past. I have some pine snakes too, but they kind of take forever to grow, so just been working on that for a few years too. But mainly ball pythons is what I've been working on. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So as far as the ball pythons, I know that you were like doing a lot of like scaleless stuff.
I used to. I was actually one of the first people in the scaleless project. I worked with Winston Smith a lot. He's one of the, I would say, kind of one of the originators of the scaleless project. He's one of the people that made it like really big. Okay. But me and him worked together on it, and that got me into the project. Yeah. Pretty early, and I did pretty well on scaleless head and scaleless projects.
Cool. Now, I mean, as far as like the stigma goes with them, like, are you? I mean, I guess you used to work with them, as in like you're not really into it anymore, or?
Well, it's in December of this year, I ended up there. I had an accident in my facility and ended up losing most of my collection.
Gotcha.
So I ended up losing pretty much everything that was valuable. I lost all my scales heads, all my sunsets, pretty much all my clowns. I had a few clown things live, but I pretty much lost everything. But everybody's been so great in the community and helping me rebuild and everything, and it's been great. Yeah. But I had, I don't have any scaleless head stuff left. Pretty much everything I had was scaleless head, and then like scaleless head heads. So like I made a lot of scaleless. I never really we kept a scaleless male back 1 year, and he bred fine, and he did great. And we ended up selling him because we got a good amount of money for him. So, it was kind of the same thing. It's like I never kept scaleless because the money was good for it, so I might as well just sell it. Got you.
Yeah, I was. I wouldn't say that I got in pretty early, but when I had the opportunity, I definitely started getting some stuff. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I got worried about it. I got worried about the way that people saw it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make back my investment, so I ended up pulling out of it pretty much. Yeah. Which is something that I regret, because I think it is a cool animal. But if I'm being honest with you, as far as the animals that I keep, the stuff that I keep is like pretty easy. And I did get worried about like what people would say is that they needed a little bit of extra care, a little more humidity.
Yeah. So, Winston kept them pretty much just like any other ball python, and he did fine. I took a little extra care on him just because I'm a little more paranoid. Yeah. He's more paranoid than most people, but in a good way. Yeah. He kept them pretty normal, and they did just fine. I kept them relatively normal, just fine. Like he kept them on Aspen, I kept them on Coco. But all of the ones we've sold, like I sold one last year to a guy, a female. And I think he said it's already like 800-900 grams, and like it's doing great, and they eat well. I've never had any issues with them. The male scaleless that we kept, he ended up proving out, like, so they are fertile. Yeah. But it's funny because they've been around for forever, and even now, like, I still haven't heard anything on the females. Yeah. I don't know. So I really don't know. Yeah.
Now let's say, God forbid, you are working heavily with scaleless animals, and there's like some kind of mite outbreak. What happens? Can you treat those the same?
I would assume you can. Yeah. I don't see why you couldn't. They would have no place to hide. True. Really. They would be easy to tell. I think they would be easy to get rid of. Yeah.
I found you, bitch.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't even know if they would bother them. I don't know. Yeah. I honestly don't know, because I know if you get snake mites on rats, they can live and breed on the rats, but they don't consume the rats. Wow. Oh yeah, so a lot of people get mites nowadays, because if people got mites, they used to get them from imports and stuff like that. Yeah. But now it's mainly from people who have them in their rat colony. And once they get in your rat colony, you
Wow.
can't treat that. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
like you can't spray a rat with prevenamite, you know. But a lot of people have them in the rats and don't really know it.
Yeah.
So if that happens, I've seen it happen. I've seen it to where like if you have them, you pretty much have to kill off your whole rat colony.
Wow,
and
that's
start
crazy.
over.
You know, I mean, as far as the reptile mites go, I mean, obviously you're not going to want to have mites in your collection. I think there is a stigma of how like difficult it is to eradicate them.
Mites are the easiest thing to
Yeah.
get rid of, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So the property I live at now is 5 acres. I have my own snake building, and we've been there 5 years, and I haven't seen any mites since I've been there.
Yeah.
Luckily, and I do a show every month. Generally, if you come home from a show, it's because when you have mites, it's somebody was holding a snake that had mites and then held one of your snakes. Generally, but I haven't seen mites at my place in 5 years. But before, when I lived in a house, I went through this probably year-long period where I had mites terribly.
Yeah.
And I spent thousands of dollars trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And it's because I had carpet.
Oh, so they would
They
go into the
get
carpet.
in the carpet, they would lay eggs. They can't survive in the carpet, but they would lay eggs, and then they
eggs
would
would come
hatch.
up, yep.
So I would treat them, kill them, but then the babies would just come right back
Yeah.
up. So once I got rid of the carpet, I've never had a mite since.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. I tried everything: prevenamite, the reptile spray stuff, the no pest strips.
Yeah.
So
I actually, this week, I don't know what got into me where I just started reading about the chemicals that are in the mite sprays to like figure out, I was like, which one's like the best one? And it's crazy to see that like these sprays, sometimes they don't even kill them. They just like stop them from reproducing, keep them slow kind of thing. Yeah.
So from my understanding, the reptile spray you can buy, that supposedly just has like an oil in it and just kind of gets the snakes off of them. Prevenamite, you spray. It's a spray you spray on the bedding. It kills them, but it doesn't kill the next ones that hatch.
Yeah.
But a buddy of mine, Adam Chelsea. You know him?
Yeah.
Me and him were talking about it one time. He believes that the mites have actually evolved to where prevenamite doesn't even hurt them anymore. Because I've seen it to where, like when because I've been in this 13 years. When I had to use it 10 years ago, it worked great. But when I had to use it when I had the outbreak 5 years ago, it didn't really seem to work at all.
Yeah, very
but that could have been the carpet too.
Yeah.
But so it's hard to say. I used the no pest strips when I had them. That worked great. I know a lot of people are against that, but it works great. So
I think, and I don't know if I'm going to sound super ignorant right now or not, but I think a heavy first treatment is super important. So something that I would do is soak the animal in water and soap, dry the animal. There used to be a spray called Frontline. They don't make the spray anymore.
Yeah.
But there's one that has the same chemical. I don't remember what it's called. It's like something Pet Plus. That has that same chemical plus an additive that will stop the mites that live from reproducing.
Yeah.
So you treat the animal with that, and then you still prevenamite the tub. So you're just like killing it right then and there. You're starting fresh. Obviously, you got to clean your rats.
Yeah, mites are, like I said, mites are super easy to get rid of. It's just cleaning. That's all it is. It's
exactly.
It's just
being
cleaning.
on top of it. Yeah.
There's
being
way
responsible.
There's way worse things to worry about than mites.
Yeah. Especially these days, everybody's talking about like crypto and like different like zoo disease and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's scary.
That is. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's scary. There's a lot of collections that have it and that don't know they have it.
Are we allowed to talk about your accident?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm completely open about it. Yeah.
So, one of my fears, like for real big fears, I bought a house a couple years ago, and like sometimes it keeps me up at night, is a fire. You know, because obviously you work really hard for everything you have, and it's just like, fuck, man, like what if something happens? To the point where like, straight the fuck up, and I know it's going to sound like some bitch shit, but I don't use my oven. I don't use my oven because it's new, and every time we've tried to use it, it smells like plastic. I freak out. My fire alarms are super sensitive. They start going off. I go into a straight panic attack. My wife hates it. So I really do freak out. Is there anything with what happened to you, were you able to find what the source was?
So I have a I have a friend that he's done air-conditioned units and stuff like that he's an AC guy. He's done it for 10 years. I trust him with everything. And so he installed my mini split unit. I had like a window unit on there, but it just wasn't controlling the temperatures right. I had it on there a few years, and it was okay. It wasn't perfect. Okay. And because I do ambient temperatures.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have heat on any of my racks. I just do ambient temperatures.
Okay.
So I got the mini split because I wanted the automatic feature, because with the window unit I would have to go in there and change it like pretty much daily to change the temperatures daily to whatever I needed it to be. With the mini split unit I wanted it to do automatically switch from heat and cold.
Yeah.
So I've had that mini split unit for, when it happened in December, I had it for a year and a half already. So last winter's, I live in Eustis. It gets about 10 degrees colder than everywhere else. The coldest it got was 29 degrees last year around Christmas. It ran perfectly fine last year, switched from heat. Well, it didn't need to go on cold, but it ran heat just fine the year before. This year I turned it on, or it started running the heat around November. So it ran on heat for about a month perfectly fine. And then on Christmas Day, I was actually over here in Tampa with my family for Christmas, and it got to 28 degrees. So only 1 degree colder, but something happened, I don't know what, and the unit did a factory reset. And when it did I've had it happen a couple times to where if the power goes off, it just comes right back on in the last setting. Somehow it did like a factory reset, turned on to cold, and turned on to like 75 degrees. Okay. Well, when it's 28 degrees outside and it's 70 degrees, when I walked in my snake room, it was 48 degrees.
Wow.
And I got back, Christmas was, I think, Sunday. I came back Monday morning, and it was everything was just frozen essentially.
Yeah.
I had 160, 180 adult females. Only 13 of them lived.
Fuck, man.
I had my holdbacks in there. All my for sale stuff was in another building, so it lived. It's fine. But I lost all my breeders and most of all my breeders, and pretty much a decent amount of my holdbacks. It was weird. I think it was like 87 or 83% of my adults, but my babies I only lost like 20% of. So, which was weird. You would think it would be the other way around. The only thing we can think of, which makes no sense at all, is all of my adults are on Aspen and all my babies are on cocoa. But the cocoa's wet, so you would think that it freeze even more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was weird.
Interesting.
But
interesting. Well, man, we'll talk about something after this. Let's show the animal that you brought.
Oh
yeah.
So this is
Jesus Christ.
Leopard pastel desert ghost female.
Hell yeah, dude.
Desert ghosts are kind of the biggest thing right now. Because they're super bright. I think they're it's pretty much gotten to the point to where if it's not a recessive, people don't want it. So I think desert ghost will probably replace hypo in everything. Yeah. Just because it makes everything brighter and it works the same way.
Yeah. Cool, man. So as far as like the future, what are you looking to do? Are you trying to build back your ball python collection as it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, better in a sense. I'm trying to. I had a lot of just co-dominant stuff before and some recessive stuff. Like I had a lot of clowns and a lot of sunsets and stuff, a lot of pieds.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to rebuild back that stuff, but do stuff a little different. Every double recessives. I'm trying to work towards that and stuff now.
That's the way it is now, man. If you're not doing double, triple recessives, you're not keeping up.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and Winston were talking the other day, and we were talking about what he wants to breed to what and what he should breed to what. And he was like, "Yeah, I have this stuff. I can make some triple hets because that's the future." I'm like, "Yes, it's the future, but like if we're thinking ahead, like you probably need to start going for quads."
Yeah.
Just because Justin's already made 2 or 3 or several triples, quads are probably going to be the next thing,
Yeah.
But it's so hard to hit in ball pythons.
Yeah,
It's not like a corn snake where it has 30 eggs,
Yeah.
I never, 13 years ago, 10 years ago, I never thought double recessives were going to be a big thing in ball pythons. 'Cause ball pythons have, everybody says 8 eggs. They have 6 eggs. They have 6 eggs.
Yeah.
Especially like most morphs, because most morphs generally stay a little smaller, but it's the chances of hitting a quad is just so hard.
Yeah.
I never thought doubles would be as big as they are,
Well, shit, man.
But
yeah, and then I have I have an issue where I don't like to deal with possets. And then it's also like, but am I really going to invest like $10,000 into some shit that I don't have any females for? Or like, since I'm so limited on space, like how many females can I get and stuff like that? It's tough, man. It's tough. It's heavy.
I mean, we have the genetic testing now, which makes it easier. But at the same time,
have you used it?
I used it when it came out. So I had a male sunset that was 66% het clown.
Okay.
I sent in its shed. Took 3 months to get a response from them, and they said the shed is too old. The test was inconclusive. You're going to need another shed. I'm like, well, yeah, it's too old. You've had it for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know people have had decent success with it, but I also know people who have gotten negative results who ended up proving out, and vice versa. And I know people who sent in like 100% hets that were proven and got negative tests back. So,
fuck, man.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Got you.
So we'll see. But I mean, it's probably just like anything. Over time, they'll get better at it. Hell
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, tag yourself one more time.
Yeah, I'm Colton with Planet Python. Go give me a like and follow.
Cool. This is SoFlo Reptiles. Instagram and I believe Facebook are SoFlo_Reptiles.
Cool.
You can find us there. Shoot me a message if you're looking for anything in particular.
Hell yeah. All right, so what are you working with these days?
I like to say everything but ball pythons.
Nice.
As always.
Okay.
Of course, there's more to invest in for myself and more room to grow.
Okay.
But I'm still mostly into the colubrids and I'd say New Caledonian geckos.
Got you.
My main thing.
So what's the plan? I see that you're very busy. I see you're doing a lot of stuff. You got a big table, big display, and stuff like that. Talk to me about like what the whole goal is for you.
At the end of the day, the main goal is to be. I'm slowly converting the quantity into higher and higher quality animals.
Okay.
But I always want to provide. I don't want to say lower end, but more affordable options because I deal with a lot of families. I mean, I've provided a lot of crested geckos, for example, to first-time owners, and I want to keep doing that. I don't want to just jump into stuff that most people can't afford.
Yeah, so actually, it's funny you say that. So my whole situation is I believe in – I want to offer two things. I want to offer investment quality animals and high-quality pets.
Exactly.
So that way I feel that somebody who is more likely to spend maybe double, triple what like a quote-unquote normal something would cost, maybe they might take care of that a little better because it's a little more quality, has a more premium price. So I guess similar to...
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving away geckos, you're going to start running into problems with people who, they didn't spend any money on it, so they don't really care. And, it's just, I always like to try to feel out the customer and make sure that they know what they're doing.
Yep.
I don't want to run into a situation where an animal gets put in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
But I think I'm pretty good at that. I educate a lot at the shows. We set you up. If you come to me, I set you up with whatever you need, as long as I have it or as long as it's at the show. I will walk you over to the other stores and make sure that you get everything at the show. And you know what you're doing.
Because at the end of the day, there's it's not only about providing a quality animal, providing quality service, but quality customers are another important part of the
That's
process.
What I want. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like I'm one of the only very few people in the industry. I actually do returns on a lot of stuff, which most people don't accept returns. But for example, if it's a snake that, maybe you know how the business is. If it's a live animal, so let's just say it's a hognose snake that a year after I sell it decides to go off a feed, I will take that snake back and give you a new hognose. I'm more than happy to do it. I'm always about making the customer happy and making sure the animals are being taken care of, not just me keeping your money and saying, I'll see you later or whatever. I want to keep in touch with the customers.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
I have a very similar approach. I've told customers in the past, like, if you need to get rid of the animal, if you need to find a home for it, just contact me. I'll buy it back. Obviously, if the animal can't be sickly and stuff like that,
Right.
like if it's all fucked up, like, I can't bring something like that into the collection.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. So, what's the long-term plan? You want to shop? You want to just be a breeder? Like, what's the ideal thing for you to be doing this full time?
So. Right now, I don't know if everyone knows, I'm in school. I go to UCF.
Cool.
I'm a full-time student there.
Yeah.
So
what are you studying?
I'm doing finance.
Okay, cool.
I hate math. I don't know why I chose finance.
Fuck it.
In the next week, I'm literally switching my major, probably to something around e-commerce or marketing, something like that could actually help me a little bit more.
I would say if I could offer you any advice, I would offer advice on either do marketing. If you're going to do anything e-commerce, try to look for something that's more like computer science-y, like coding. As far as like the e-commerce stuff, it's a realm that I frequent, and you could learn so much by, one, just being a creative person, and two, just go on YouTube. Like, I don't think somebody needs an e-commerce degree.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need a degree in it. At the end of the day, too, that's part of my plan is I'm going to college as a backup. I'm very lucky that I had good grades in high school. I got the Bright Futures Scholarship.
Oh, cool.
So it's not like I'm paying I'm not paying the full amount for school just to go there to get a backup degree, but I'm taking advantage of the scholarship I got to go there and have a backup for myself in case, you know how FWC is. Any day if they want to mess with us, they can really mess with us. And I don't know if I'm in a position yet where if something happens, I'm ready to move to Texas overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to say I would probably just move to Texas overnight, but it's not that easy.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's always like, if I got to get out of here, I got to go to Texas.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I mean, I probably would figure something out, but I'm 20 years old with limited credit history, and I'm not going to get a house very easily. So
you'd be surprised.
Hey, good enough down payment,
one good animal year could help you with a down payment.
Yeah,
I got my house because the blue tongues killed it one year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. Save up for a down payment. That's what I'm trying to do now. But yeah, I mean, I blow all my money on other reptiles. That's normally how it goes for a lot of people. Yeah. And I'm trying to learn now self-control with, I don't need to invest in 50 projects this year. Maybe just add a little bit to fill in some gaps.
Yeah. There really is some truth in quality over quantity.
Right. And that's what I'm working on now. I'm getting rid of, I've been breeding cresses for 8 years now. I mean, before I started the shows, I actually started my business by selling crested geckos on Craigslist.
Nice.
I first started breeding them. This is before, when I started selling at the shows, I want to say in late 2017, I was the only person who had a all crested gecko table. Okay. Now you go to the shows, you see many, multiple tables where all they have is crested geckos or other New Caledonian geckos. But I was, one of the first ones to be known, I guess, at the Repticons for cresteds. But I've kind of not, I haven't spent that much money on crested projects. So I'm trying to now finally really put my investment towards higher quality stuff, my Xanthics, my lilies, all my cappuccinos. I actually have something new I've been cooking up for a year now. I'm not going to spoil it, but I have proved out something that we are cooking up, and you'll know soon enough.
Cool. Well,
something very cool.
Tag yourself one more time. Where can people find you?
SoFlo Reptiles, SoFlo_Reptiles, sorry, on Instagram and I believe Facebook.
There's nothing better than the smell of coffee in the morning, okay? There's also nothing better than the smell of reptiles in the morning. Psych. Reptiles with coffee. That's the smell you want. The strongest coffee, all right? We have it for you. Head on over to the description or go to coldbloodedcaffeine.com and use the code REPTILESWITH to get your Reptiles with coffee today. If you want to support us, head on over to modernreptileshop.com or in the description where you can find our merch. And the best part is that a percent of the proceeds from the merch gets donated to conservation. One more time, that's modernreptileshop.com or head on over to the description.
My name is David, and I am Madball Pythons.
Yes, he is. David has been on a couple times. He's a ball python breeder. We hang out here. He is one of my ball python mentors. He taught me how to play with balls. But David has a message for us today. What's your message, David? Why are you upset? Why are you arguing with people online?
Well, I was wondering, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. What message?
What do you mean? Okay. Let's backtrack. So, a couple, almost like every podcast these days, we bring up like some of the current stuff that's going on with Morph Market. Morph Market gets bought by Darian. Darian's doing his job. He's raising awareness for Morph Market. He's, stirring the pot on social, and that kind of stuff. But you posted that you are now leaving Morph Market. You made a stance. You said, I'm leaving Morph Market. I'm making my own website. So what's the whole idea here? What's the problem, bro?
So I see how this might be taken a little out of content. Just like anybody else, I have my own opinions. Yep. And simply my opinion is based on, this guy, he came in and, he was doing his thing. He was promoting the site. He was doing it real well. But just like everything else, you got to do the bad shit in order to get the likes and the follows that you want, apparently.
Define the bad shit.
Dude, you get involved in every fucking pothole you can find.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's like people are raising a lot of concerns on how things are changing. It's so much shit, honestly, that I really don't even have the mind capacity to fuck with this situation right now. But in reality, dude, it's not what it used to be. I'm not going to sit here and fucking kiss his ass, or anybody's ass for that matter.
Okay.
When majority of the people that have been doing this for a minute, we can't talk about the people that just got in, that haven't been able to sell a snake or a lizard or anything on their own to a pet store or Craigslist and shit like that. For those people that are getting on Morph Market, they're probably, oh shit, I sold something today, I sold something the following week. So the new people that are coming in, they might be doing really well. For us that we've actually had to hustle and move, it's not going all that great. Could it be because of the saturation? Could it be because the market is bad right now? No, apparently not. Apparently everybody's making a killing and everybody is selling their asses off. They can't keep up with their shit. The market is great. Money is moving.
Yeah.
Where, dude?
So, this is the thing. So, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I do not enjoy the how can I phrase this? I don't enjoy the drama on Facebook. I don't really like it. It's kind of, my feed is blown up all the time. But what that does is add advertising to the website. I kind of get what he's trying to do here. I don't have any gripes personally with him.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Apparently he fucking attacked me yesterday for what? Because I just said, I just want to clear something real quick. Yoshii.
Yeah.
For as long as we've known each other. All bullshits aside, all differences aside, can you put a number out there of how long it's been that I've been communicating with you that I wanted to do this website thing?
No, it's been a while, for sure. It's been a while.
Way before him.
Yeah.
Way before him.
Yeah.
It's something that I've always wanted to do. I just never found the time. I've never found the energy. I've never, it has nothing to do with him. Ironically and coincidentally, my shit expired yesterday. And I didn't want to renew it anymore.
Yeah.
And I fucking said, you know what? I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Period. That's all it was to it. And then he comes and fucking attacks me on my shit. you know, he says that he didn't attack.
What was the comment that he deleted? He deleted a comment.
He deleted something. Apparently, somebody told me that he deleted something. I don't know. I didn't really see it. I was actually working while all this shit was happening. So, but he came to my page after I said, you know what, fucking, I'm, for those that follow me and that are always constantly asking me, my morph marking link and stuff. I went ahead and I put a post on my personal page. Hey, I'm, not renewing.
You can find me somewhere else.
That's it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to be into. So if shit gets quiet, you guys know where I'm at,
Yeah.
For the 50, 60 fucking clients that I have that are fucking loyal to me, that's who I give a fuck about.
Yeah.
I don't care about anybody else.
So, like I was saying before, like it's not a personal thing with him. I do believe that Morph Market, maybe back then, I enjoyed it a little bit more. When it first started, when I first joined, I enjoyed it a little more. It was more fruitful. But there has been more traffic, whether it's good or bad. I'm not sure. And I don't know if it's because of the advertisement. I don't know if it's because of like all the stirring the pot a little bit online. But something that I do, I mean, I haven't had personally any issues with Morph Market. I'm selling things pretty frequently. I'm getting a lot of inquiries. I don't know if it's because the variety of animals that I sell, or the type of project specifically that I have that maybe some people are interested in. But something that I do believe in, that he is about, is the future of the reptile hobby and the industry, in the sense that like he's okay with losing people even if they have a big following, if they are doing bad things. Okay, yeah, of course my question is now, what if like those big people that are doing bad things are running in the same circles as maybe him or something like that? That stuff I don't know. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know everybody's personal stuff, but I do believe that the future of this hobby needs to be held at a better standard. And he also believes that in the conversations that I've had with him. It's tough.
He's not okay. It's tough.
Yeah.
But he's real quick to fucking make changes without fucking analyzing nothing.
Got you. But the thing is, what I'm saying is tough is that he owns this platform. You get me? Like, we have no choice but to abide by his rules if we are on that platform.
No, we're not. And that's one of the reasons why I fucking decided that I'm not getting on it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because he's taking credit for all the work that we do. We're the ones that are driving traffic to his shit.
I know, but what I'm saying is that if you want to be on Morph Market, you have to abide by his rules.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah. The platform is a huge convenience.
Yes.
It is a huge convenience for those that don't know how to network, that don't know how to, hustle,
develop their own,
or anything. It's a platform. It's a fucking phenomenal platform.
Yeah, I think that, and it sucks because especially nowadays with how much the memberships are, it's probably about like $400 a year for like the standard membership.
I don't know. I paid double because I was paying monthly.
Got you.
So I paid double my membership. So it's not even about the money. It's not even how expensive it is.
Well, the point that I was trying to make was that like, even if you are paying that $400 a year or whatever for your Morph Market account, I think that you should still spend another $400 a year to have a little bit more brand identity and have your website, a place where people can really know about what it is your business is. If you have a business and you don't know how to run your own accounting, there's money coming in from this account, that account, this account, you have one place where all of your money is, where you could print statements at the end and you can go ahead and, hey, look, these are my ins and outs, my fees, my this, my that, all my, give that to your accountant and stuff like that. So it's good to, if you don't want to pay for like a QuickBooks or something like that, like at least you have something like that. So regardless, like not only do you get brand identity, but you get organization through a website, and you can drive your Morph Market sales to your website, and it's less work for you in the sense of you're not taking in shipping information. The person's filling that out for themselves. You're not sending invoices. You're sending a link. Hey, you can purchase this directly there. They'll fill everything out. You'll get their information for marketing and stuff like that. You can go ahead and they do all the payments and stuff. So you're pretty much set when you have your own website. But the problem with having a website is that a lot of people And I'm not trying to shit on your idea. I think that your idea is a beautiful idea. If you don't feel like you need Morph Market, don't fucking use Morph Market. You do well. You do well with networking. When I first met you, like, and we were still able to sell shit on Facebook and stuff like that, you were murdering. You know, like I looked up to you a lot at that time because I was like, damn, like people know him. He's known. He's doing great with some of the projects that he's working with. Now the problem with the website is if you are a person that's starting a website and you're expecting to get traffic from your website just because you have a website, the unfortunate thing is that does not work. There are tools that you need, and I mean, if you listen to this podcast, I talk about it a lot, about what optimizing some of your keywords. What are keywords? These are things that I've talked about. I'm actually doing another podcast that's going to be like a bonus thing attached to this, but it's only going to be on streaming platforms, and that's going to be like a business podcast, and we're talking a lot about this shit. So the point that I'm trying to make now that I'm going in some circles is that it's not as simple as just having a website. You need to have an optimized website for it to do work for you organically.
Correct.
You got to run ads and stuff like that. It's, but if you feel that you're able to network yourself enough, you're coming to these shows, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're able to make your money without Morph Market, fuck it. You don't need it. And maybe somebody, especially because there's a lot of people upset with it, maybe somebody comes out with a Morph Market competition. Who fucking knows? And maybe that does better. But now they also have the social media. The social media is attached to the Morph Market. It's a lot that's going on. Again, like the changes have been fruitful for me. Yeah, there's a lot of drama on Facebook. Sometimes I like the chisme, sometimes I don't. But it's rough. It's rough.
It's definitely great to be informed, dude. But the thing is that it's not even informative anymore, dude. It's just straight up fucking bashing, and then you got everybody jumping on the bandwagon, taking advantage of the situation. It's creating hatred in the community.
I don't like the dick suckers. That shit
There's a lot
me.
of fucking dick suckers.
For lack of a better term, sorry.
Kissers. And for what?
Yeah, that's what it is. Ass kissers.
And for what?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like because they want to be one with the person that has the power. And I think that that's cheesy. I think that, and that's why, and it's like I say, I'm not like, I don't have anything wrong against Darian. He, if
I didn't either, bro, honestly. To be honest with you.
And that's why I have no problem saying the things that I like and the things that I don't like.
I love the fact that you were able to go on any one of these groups and just speak your mind, and then nobody gets ass hurt. All of a sudden you get...
And then you get an army behind you.
And then for what?
And you know what else you get? You get the sarcasm from certain fucking people.
It's only sarcasm, which is why I don't think that he's funny at all, because he tells you the things thinking that he's being funny.
And I'm not even saying him. I'm saying other people that like support him and stuff like that. Then you get like the sarcasm, the snarkiness, and it's just like
it's not sarcasm.
Fuck,
it's all fake.
Yeah,
it's all fake
because they need something. You're saying.
Because they're thinking that they run with the man, they're gonna get somewhere. It's all fucking. It's a fake ass crowd.
Yeah, and again, for me personally, this is not to shit on Morph Market. I hope there's two things that I hope for with Morph Market, and I don't think one of them I got made fun of for, and it's just I don't think that these things will happen soon. But for me to drop my website, and I would consider dropping my website if I got these two things. Number one, if I'm able to process payments through Morph Market. Okay, but even that's not a reason to yet. But the second one is that if I'm able to do some branding on Morph Market, keep a color scheme, keep similar fonts, stuff like that, so that way my brand is strong through my page. And it's not just as simple as like some of the changes that they made. Like now you can add a banner. It's cool, but the problem with the banner is that if you don't know how to optimize your banner, for example, if you don't know that the aspect ratios for a phone, tablet, and a desktop are different.
It's completely different.
Yeah, so the one that you make might not work for all three.
Mm-hmm.
So that's difficult. That's not going to be for everybody. And that, in a sense, will probably make a lot of users' profiles ugly. So I'd like to be a little more functional on Morph Market for me to completely drop that.
I'm pretty sure that in the future, it's something that, they might change and they might consider and they might add on. I think that everything is fairly fresh.
Yeah.
I don't think that he gets enough credit, but I just think that if he just fucking steers clear of all the bullshit, I think that people could see everything else.
So then what is your plan then for you going forward?
For me personally, my business is just, go back to the good old days, bro, where you're out there marketing, connecting with people, and and just keeping a circle, dude.
Is there anything, one last question, is there anything that Morph Market can do to either keep you on the platform or to get you back?
I'm going to be 100% straight up. And when people say that shit,
Be
it's
straight
bullshit.
down. Be straight down, whatever you need to be.
I'll be straight up. The reason why I'm stepping away from Morph Market has nothing to do with all the bullshit, because I made a choice of doing it for myself. The reason why I did it for myself is because I myself got comfortable on somebody else's platform, and I depended on somebody else's platform in order for me to generate sales. It's no longer working for me.
Okay.
It's no longer generating sales. So therefore, I stepped away from posting. I stepped away from creating content. I stepped away from all these things because I got comfortable.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm just taking a step back, reanalyzing everything, and then coming forward. Listen, I'm not saying that I'm going to step away forever. Like I said, the platform has a lot of potential. Right now, it's going through a lot of hiccups. Right now, it's going through a lot of shit. And for somebody that has very little time to keep up with all that shit, I might as well, like I said, take control of what I can take control over.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that there's something like deep in what you said that is very important. It's about having identity. You know, you don't need to make your identity based on somebody else's business. And like, I think you do have a good point where it's like the platform wasn't benefiting you. You take a step back. You needed to focus on what you are, what you're trying to do to be able to rework your future. And if that doesn't mean that it has to be on the platform, it really doesn't. And that is an important point. Like, if it's not doing anything for you, you don't have to pay the membership just because everybody's on it. You don't have to support anybody just because everybody says you should support somebody. It doesn't need to be like that. You need to, sometimes we need to have a little bit more identity and more confidence within ourselves and what we are doing. Now, on the other hand, if the platform is doing something for you, work on it. And I think that's that.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Paul. We are the owners of For Real Reptiles, For Real 3D, and Tomorrow Monday, which is basically breaking down to For Real 3D. We do 3D printing, so we have some really cool articulated 3D prints. We also do reptiles. Now we're kind of getting back into it. We just renewed our venomous permit, so we have that back. We'll be adding venomous back to the collection, but we just picked up this pastel clown het desert ghost from Planet Pythons today. This will go in. Yes, yes. And the tomorrow Monday is something a little bit new. It's kind of a collaboration between my wife and myself. She does handcrafted jewelry, but we added sublimation. So we have this really cool LeBone James. The idea behind it is if you send us a picture of your dog, we'll do him on a cup with LeBone James, but this is a sublimated tumbler, so kind of cool, just something different to add to bring into the shows for people, so we can do all kinds of neat stuff.
You're sublimating shirts also?
Yes. Yeah, cool, shirts, hats. There's a ton of stuff. We're doing business cards.
Cool.
So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff we have coming up. So,
are you doing tablecloths?
I can. Yeah, we can definitely talk.
At least the runner.
Yeah.
I might hit you up for that.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So as far as like the people that are listening that don't know, so there's different kinds of ways to like print on fabric. There's like screen printing. People do like a direct to garment, which is like just like a pretty much like literally a printer.
Yes.
There's sublimation. Then some people do like with their Cricut and stuff like that. They'll do vinyl on top. So that's cool. So what got you to be like to do these 3D printed things?
We started doing shows a little over 2 years ago, and we actually vended our first Kissimmee show with the legend. So we got to give a shout out to the legend.
Eddie Soto, Serpentera Exotics, the local legend.
Absolutely. So we brought a bunch of reptiles and we sold those, but we had a handful of 3D prints because we had one printer. We sold out of the 3D prints, and me and my son kind of looked at each other and said, hey, you know what? These are way easier to take care of. And it's just kind of spiraled from there. We have 10 printers running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at a $600 a month electric bill.
I was going to ask you, how hot does a room get?
Honestly, it's not bad. It's anywhere from 80 to 82 with the printers running. It's not as bad as you would think. Because they definitely do put off some heat, but again, it just doesn't seem to be as bad. So we keep them in the reptile room. I did have my venomous permit I let it lapse out. We got rid of all of our stuff due to some regulation changes they were trying to push, and they didn't go through. So we just renewed.
Okay.
So the spot that my venomous was in, now my 3D printers are in. So we got to kind of move some stuff around and kind of retool. But it just, we saw a need to have stuff here for kids that, kind of parents are trying to keep them under control, and this is the best way to do it. Give them a
they don't have to
toy
buy the lizard. They can buy. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, so I've been pretty vocal about like how I feel some of like the vendors hold themselves. There's like sometimes there's like some random vendors that I don't think like their products are reptile related.
Yep.
But then I do. It's not that I don't think that there is a place for things like this in a show like this.
Absolutely.
When I did Daytona last year, I had my buddy that when I first started doing reptiles, him and I partnered up. I only bred turtles and tortoise when I first started, and he used to design like necklaces of like turtles and stuff like that, just like little random knickknacks.
Yeah.
And he used to do it out of resin and stuff like that, and that always used to bring people to the table. When we did Daytona last year, he came and he did the same thing, necklaces, some pens and stuff like that, and it was a way for people to just like come to the table and then check out the reptiles.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that there's a place for that, especially when they're reptile related. And dude, literally, if it's an axolotl.
Yes.
Everybody loves axolotls.
So we carry, like this, I brought this one. This is one of our most popular, a crystal dragon.
Yep.
We carry crested geckos, gargoyle geckos, bearded dragons, leopard geckos, axolotls, ball pythons, rattlesnakes. Like, we try to keep it as geared towards reptiles because that's why everybody's here and that's what everybody loves. So, but we have a couple different mythical dragons that we kind of added to it, and I still think that that's like somewhat of a part of it. But a big part of this is I also do design work. So when somebody comes in and says, hey, I want a hanger for my cage, can you do something? Yeah, I can do it. And it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking something to production and you just want something for a cage, a rock, or something like that that's 3D printed that has a water dish, that's easy to do.
Cool.
So we do all kinds of neat stuff.
I definitely think that you should consider selling some kind of like reptile products.
Yeah.
3D printed. That's something. So my friend that did the turtles and tortoise with me, that did the necklaces, he has a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And we have spoken about like maybe designing some hides, designing some water bowls and stuff like that. We never got around to it, but I definitely think that there is like a place for those kinds of things, especially along the lines of whenever you have all your reptiles displayed. Oh, what kind of supplies do I need? Well, we have these cheap options of 3D printed whatever. Like if you don't want this long term, you can still buy something else, but this is not going to break the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing.
Exactly.
So.
And that's the most fun. That's the best part about doing it is it gives you the option to be creative and do whatever you really want to do. And it is something that we've talked about. We need to transition and fix what we're doing now and get a bigger space and add more printers to do that, because our printers are maxed out at this point. So they run, like I said, 24/7 just to keep up with the shows.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes.
Like, what's the shelf life on one of those printers?
Honestly, I don't know. I've had ours running for a couple of years, and we replace consumable parts. Hot ends, nozzles, Bowden tubing. We've had a couple boards go bad because of the heat, but we've adjusted for that and added extra fans to them, just to kind of modify the printer to run better. So,
got you.
But over that, we've not had really any major problems, knock on wood.
And then now, as far as like your reptile projects, so you're going to get back into venomous, you're getting some ball pythons. Is there anything else that you're working with or want to work with?
We work with carpet pythons, ball pythons. My wife has boas. And then we just have some odd stuff. My wife got a pair of bearded dragons.
Okay. So it's like a family thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My daughter up in New York has redfoot tortoise. She has gargoyle gecko. She has axolotls. Yeah. My other daughter has our redfoot tortoises in Georgia. So we kind of keep a bunch of stuff, you know, and it is more of a family thing. We also got some Saharan sand boas at one of the last shows, so those are kind of cool. Yeah. Something different.
Yeah. Now, are you like trying to transition to a full-time thing, or just something that you guys are doing? It's fun. It's like a little small business kind of thing.
I tell everybody the same thing. I have a fantastic job. I love where I work.
What do you do?
I'm a food safety specialist for a nutraceutical company.
Okay.
So I love what I do. I don't foresee myself in the near future leaving there. However, I would like my wife and Aiden to be able to stay home to do all this stuff.
Understood.
And then kind of keep it as a small business until it gets to the point where it's not small anymore.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Are you keeping up with the Slither files?
Yes. So I'm going to say this only because I keep things extremely transparent. I have purchased animals from Samson.
Okay.
Probably 2019. 2018, 2019, we
Okay.
went up and met with him in Baltimore at Repticon, and we picked up a couple Burmese pythons when CSP was still legal here,
Yep.
and some retics. We picked up an adult male retic, some very nice stuff. Never had any issues with it. Do I know him personally? No.
Gotcha.
However, what I've seen is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know how anybody could do that.
Cool.
So-
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I have a big podcast that I have to do tomorrow night, which will come out like a week from this, and we're pretty much just going to go balls deep into that. It's
Yeah.
going to be hefty, bro.
You're going to be deep because it looks like that hole goes pretty far.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
listen,
And years, apparently.
up until that video was shown with everything,
Yeah.
I always just said, hey, there's two sides to every story, whatever.
Yeah.
But you really can't. There's no arguing those photos.
Yeah. It's rough.
None.
It's
Yeah,
rough.
it is. It is very rough.
Yeah. Well,
So
tag yourself one more time. We'll get it going.
For Real Reptiles, For Real 3D. Tomorrow, Monday, check us out. We're at every Repticon show. If you need something, let us know. Hit us up.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thanks so much for listening. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought about this episode. One more time, this podcast was brought to you by Repticon Reptile Shows, Premium Crickets, and Reptiles Express. We'll see you on the next one.